last night quite a bit?
Yeah, well, I'm running from my friend's house this time.
So nobody's going to interrupt you tonight, eh? Marty, I've let you go. You've asked our special guest, Johnny Rogers, 3 or 4 questions, and we're trying to keep moving right along to let as many people on the air as possible.
Johnny Rogers, good luck, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for your call. Bye-bye. The numbers to call are 790-0933 and 630-8611, as if you didn't know them by now. Back to the lines. You're on the air with Johnny Rogers.
Hello, Ted.
Jersey Bouncer.
Yeah, that's me in person.
You got Johnny Rogers right here.
Yeah. Johnny?
Yeah, I think Ted has his whole fan club calling.
It's the Johnny Rogers fan club.
Yeah, what can I do for you?
Yeah, well, number one, where did you get that cap?
I had the caps made up in Nebraska, in Lincoln, Nebraska, at a leather shop in Lincoln near the college I went to, Nebraska University.
Is it any symbol or what?
Well, it's just that the guys with the white hats are usually the good guys, aren't they?
Rogers trademark. Is that it?
Right, the sign of the good guys. You know, the Dodge boys and all.
You can wear that on the gridiron, no?
Well, I wear it before and afterwards. I can't wear it during. I have a red, white, and with a green hat that I wear on the gridiron.
Right. Now, I've got good news for you and bad news for you, Johnny.
Oh, yeah? Well, give me the good first.
The good news is this. To me, you're a complete football player because, as a rule, when a man is an offensive player like you are, you know, his blocking and that, he kind of hangs that out to dry. But you pretty well, you know what I mean, carry out your assignments well, you block well. If you recall, the beef about Jimmy Brown was that he never used to like to block. Now, how true this was, I don't know, but I know that was the beef about him. But you definitely are a 100% football player. I mean, in other words, you're all around. Now, another thing is, Nebraska, did they use the wishbone?
No, we used the I formation most of the time. We never went into the wishbone. That was pretty much Texas and Oklahoma.
Now, the bad news, John.
Uh-oh. Here we go. All right, take it slow.
The news media has been coming out with your quotes that you feel you want to get the ball a lot more.
Right.
Aren't you creating more or less sort of the idea that Marv Levy is not using you in a proper manner? Don't you think that this can create a little bit of dissension?
No, I don't think it will create any dissension, really, because it's between me and Marv Levy, we have an understanding on how we would like to work the situation out. And I think after the first game, I stated that I felt that I should get the ball more. Then Coach Levy tried to get me the ball more. It's not his intentions to keep the ball away from me. It's just that I have to just be used at the certain times, and I'll probably be used more some games than I will in other games.
Well, don't you think, Johnny, that his idea is more or less they can't key on you when he uses you as a decoy, no? I mean, isn't he using you actually to the best potential of you? In other words...
Well, he's using me as a decoy, right, but if I don't get the ball a certain amount of times in a certain amount of minutes, then it doesn't really do any good to have a decoy out there where people aren't really paying attention to it. If I have the ball at least 3 times a quarter, then I keep a score on their mind all the time, and 3 times a quarter totals out to 12 times a game, and that's really not too many times at all. And I'm sure that I almost had the ball 11. I think I had 11 times during our last game.
Well, he's building you up for the Grey Cup. You must understand that. So by the time you get around to the Grey Cup, you'll be the fly guy. Like now, just one last.
Make it fast, Jersey, because we're going to move.
Yeah. How do you find the hitting in the CFL as compared to your college?
Well, in the Big 8 conference where I came from, I think that the hitting was pretty much the same. You'd have 12 guys out there who were trying to make the professionals and trying to do their best to build up statistics, and I was more or less the guy that a lot of them would really like to get out of the game, and if I had got out of the game at any certain time, then they would have had a better chance to beat our football team. And so I think that I've got some of the hardest hits that I'm going to get as far as in college ball, and they can't get too much worse than the CFL as long as I just keep moving fast.
Okay, Jersey Bouncer, we thank you for your call. Bye-bye. Now we'll give Johnny Rogers time to catch his breath, and we'll go ahead with Ellie, the inside pitch, and the Vogue.
The Vogue shoe half-price sale is in full swing, and with this kind of sale you can really swing. 50% off on all summer shoes and handbags. Distinguished names like Clark of England and my own favorite Amalfi are included in this tremendous sale at Vogue shoe. Summer is the time for comfort in footwear, at patio parties, vacation trips, or anywhere. And Vogue Shoe Shop can always make you feel like an enchantress. In sizes 4 to 12 and in widths of 5A to B, That's at Vogue Shoes, half-price sale at all 3 stores. Fairview Shopping Center, Mountain Royal Hotel, and 2020 University.
Nancy Marshall, welcome to the Inside Pitch. You have really a 3-role job in life, haven't you? You have a husband who's a pitcher for the Montreal Expos, a student, and an assistant professor. How does that all work in?
It gets very confusing at times. Every once in a while I have to pitch in and play student for Mike, but other than that, he pretty much carries it on his own.
And you also have a family.
Well, yes, we have 3 girls. They're 10, 8, and just one that turns 6. That keeps us busy, too.
So you have your hands really, really full. When a lot of the fellows go on a PR staff or take a job in the off season, you don't have to worry about a job because it's already there.
Well, that could be true. Every once in a while our roles change because the city that we live in likes to call on Mike to do little jobs for him, so every once in a while we have more work than what we even thought we were going to have.
Mike is working on his what now? He has his master's, right?
Yes, he has his master's, and he should complete his PhD if everything goes on schedule this winter.
And where do you make your home in the off season?
It's in East Lansing, Michigan, where Michigan State University is located. We own our home there.
And this is where Mike teaches at Michigan State?
Yes, that's correct.
This must be time-consuming in itself.
Actually, it's more time-consuming than baseball is. I think I see more of Mike during the baseball season than I do during the winter because he's either studying or he's in at school.
Nancy, I know you're in a big hurry, and I won't keep you, but it's been a great pleasure talking with you. We'll talk with you again.
Thanks, Ellie.
Okay, there you heard it, right in the middle of a football discussion with the fabulous Johnny Rogers. You heard Nancy Marshall, the wife of the fabulous Mike Marshall. Back to the lines, here we go. Sports Wrap, you're on with Johnny Rogers.
Hello, Ted. It's
Hi.
Wrestling fan.
Oh, how are you?
Fine.
Nice to hear from you.
Great. Mr. Rogers,
Right.
welcome to Montreal.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Oh, great. And we have a very wonderful football player as far as I'm concerned. And I think you should carry the ball a little more often.
Well, I'm glad to. I'm sure there's some people that agree with me. There's some people that won't agree, and I just want to be able to do the thing in which I came here to do.
Miss Point St. Charles,
Right.
did you send in, as you said you would, to Richard Blais? Did you send in for Johnny Rogers' picture?
Yes, I did.
Well, you just wait for the mailman, and it should be shortly.
Right. I'm anxious to receive it.
But you didn't get to the game the other night, you said.
No, I didn't.
All right, now, let me ask Johnny Rogers a question for you.
Okay.
Last year, Johnny, in the bowl game, was it last year? Do the years go by so quickly?
Yeah, last year against Notre Dame.
Yeah, what bowl was that?
Orange Bowl.
The Orange Bowl. That was quite a game.
Yeah, well, Notre Dame was a pretty strong team, and we had the same records going to the game, 8-2-1, and that was the lowest record that we had in our 3 years. And they came to win, and we came to win, too. Either team that won felt that they would have just made their season by that game.
Miss Point St. Charles, I'm just helping you out to get you on the track. Go ahead.
Well, I'd like to see you carry the ball a little more often, and I would also like to see, higher scores, touchdowns by Johnny Rogers.
Well, I think if as the team, we progress along, and I work into the offense a little better, and other players on our team are able to do their thing a little bit better, then I think that I'll open up, and at times I'll probably get 2 or 3 touchdowns a game, and sometimes I might not be able to score any, but at other times, sometimes during the year, I probably hope to be exceptional.
Oh, I hope so, too. And I hope we beat the Toronto Argonauts on Wednesday.
You have my word.
Great.
You heard that now.
Okay.
You have Johnny Rogers' word that they will whip the Argos. Thanks for your call. I'm glad to hear from you.
Okay, Ted.
Bye-bye. You're listening to Sports Wrap. For the numbers to call are 790-0933 and 630-8611. We give the numbers and they start blinking again. Every night, Monday through Friday, Sports Wrap. But tonight, my very special guest is the fabulous Johnny Rogers. Back to the lines. Here we go. You're on the air.
Yeah, I want to speak to the man.
You got him.
Okay, Johnny, how you been?
Oh, I'm making it.
Okay, how's Montreal?
Oh, Montreal is beautiful. It's a nice place, a very comfortable atmosphere, and the people are very friendly.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you something. Your partner Ted said that Jimmy Jones had some problem with racism in the States. Did you have any problem there also?
Yes, I did have problems.
And in the CFL, there's been nothing so far, right?
No, nothing so far at all.
Uh-huh. You think it's going to come up too or something in a few years?
Well, I have no idea. I have no way of predicting this. I would hope it didn't, but I have no way of really knowing what's going to come in the future. It might get better and it might get worse. I am really hoping for the better, for not just for myself, but other black players who come to the CFL as well.
Mm-hmm. Did you read Dave Nexie's book, by the way?
No, I didn't.
Oh, and there was a whole exposure about racism in the football leagues, in the NFL particularly.
Well, I don't really have to read his book. I probably could write one myself.
Oh, yeah?
Are you from Montreal, sir?
Sorry?
Are you from Montreal?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And I want to ask one more thing.
One more thing, okay.
Yeah, is there a difference in the formations in the CFL than in the NFL?
Well, I think that there are different formations in NFL and CFL, but I think that the offense that we're using is pretty much the Washington Redskins' offensive game plan, and well, it depends really on the team. We have 12 players on a football team in the Canadian football team, whereas they only have 11, and so you do have an extra back here, so that would vary the formations.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sir?
Yeah, okay, Johnny, stay cool.
All right, later on.
All right, bye-bye.
Thanks for your call, sir. Johnny looks cool, too, on this hot, humid night, which is my way of leading into to tell you about Jacquardi. Jacquardi makes fine men's clothing, ready to wear, and they're available at fine men's stores all over Canada and in Montreal, the Bay, and A Gold. Jacquardi has put it all together. Slacks, jackets, sweaters, vivid colors if you like it that way, more subdued shades if that's the way you are. But you owe it to yourself on these hot, humid days to be cool, and you can be all together and cool with OG, O-G-G-I. That's the name inside the label that Jacquardi makes, OG. Very easy to remember. O-G-G-I, and it is available at the Bay and at A Gold. You will not go wrong if you go into any store and demand, ask him for it. OG. O-G-G-I by Jacquardi. Back to the lines, Johnny. Here we go.
Okay.
Johnny?
You're on the air.
Yeah, I'd like to know the rule differences between big league football and college.
The rules differences are really, it really would depend. Most of them are pretty much the same. I think a lot of times it's just so simple things like you can't use a kicking tee, and in professional ball, when you use one in college, the goalposts are about 10 yards back in college football, and in professional football, they're on the goal line. It's just little trivial things. Everything is pretty much the same. It's not really that many adjustments that you have to go through as far as rules are concerned, because they're almost all the way the same all the way through your schooling from high school up.
Yeah. And Ted?
Yeah.
Yeah, Atlanta is beating St. Louis 2-0 in the 7th.
Good news. I've got it in the 8th, 4-2 for Atlanta over the Cards, so it's good news for Expos fans. Hey, it looks like it is the city of champions. Thanks for your call, sir. Bye-bye. You're listening to Sports Wrap, and you can get on the line if you try hard enough, 790-0933. Johnny Rogers is waiting for you. Sports Wrap, you're on.
Ed?
Yeah.
Jerry from NDG.
Jerry from NDG.
Yes, I called you the other night. I couldn't make the game count of relatives this night.
What's that?
The other night I couldn't get to the game account of relatives, remember?
Oh, relatives. Yeah. You called late.
Late, very. I called tonight 11:15. I just got through.
Right. Oh, you called at 11:15 tonight, but I told you that Johnny R. would be here, and you said, yeah, you want to talk to him.
Yes, sir. Put
He's
him on,
here.
please.
I'm on.
Yeah, Johnny.
Right.
First of all, I'd like to ask you, what is your timing? Your fastest running time?
Well, I run a 4.440.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Well, it's all right.
Another question, sir. Do you know this Eric, this Flea Allen?
Yeah, I do know Eric. I met Eric in Miami, Florida last year.
Are you faster than him?
Well, I don't really know. I think Eric runs about the same time that I run around in that area, and it would be a close run.
And the other night you made a block for Myra. How did that happen? Just an accident, or you really stepped in there and slammed the guy?
No, well, Myra hadn't thrown me my touchdown pass yet, so I had to take care of him at least until then.
And I'd like to say another thing. I compare you to another sports figure in sports, Howie Moran. You ever tell him the hockey player, the great hockey player?
Right, I have heard of him.
And now I'd like to give you a name myself. I don't know if you like it or not, but I'd give you a name the same way.
Whether I like it or not, huh? Well, give it to me if I have no choice.
Dipsy Doodle.
Dipsy Doodle, huh?
That means in the dictionary, you're in one place, they jump for you, and all of a sudden you're not there no more, you're gone. The same as Cassius Clay, Mercury Morris for the Dolphins, all the same.
Well, I really appreciate that.
I call you that Dipsy Doodle because that is with your footwork, you were great.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
And I'd like to ask you one more question.
All right, you got it.
What are you personally going to do to Toronto next week?
Well, I tell you, I want you to go out to the store and buy just a 10-cent balloon and blow it up.
Blow it up.
Big as you can blow it, and then let it go and watch it. And that's what we're going to do.
Thank you.
Thanks for your call. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye-bye. I like that, Johnny R. Buy a 10-cent balloon. There you heard it from Johnny Rogers himself. Go out to your 5 and dime store, blow it up, and see what happens to the Argos next Wednesday night. I don't think you're going to be able to get a seat here on the 25th against Ottawa. That's the next home game. Well, Johnny, you still feel like talking a little bit more to the people?
All right, let's wrap on.
Okay, here we go. Sports Wrap. You're on the air.
Johnny Rogers,
Right.
it's a great honor talking to you.
Right, it's Hip talking to you. What's your name?
I'd like to know, what are you doing in the minors?
What is...
Sort of a superstar. What?
Johnny Rogers asked you your name.
My name?
Yeah.
Right. What's your name?
Alan.
You know me,
Hey?
Alan?
Yeah.
All right, Alan. What can I do for you now?
Okay, if you're such a good superstar, how come you're not playing in the NFL?
Well, I turned down the NFL.
Why?
For money.
Yeah?
Is that a good enough reason?
Yeah.
Right. That's just what I thought.
And I'd like to say something else?
Alan, is that your name?
Alan, yeah.
Alan, you're speechless. I remember you from previous nights, and
Yeah.
Johnny Rogers gave you an answer, and, you know, the truth will always emerge. Money, he said, brought him to the CFL. What's your next point, and then we're moving?
I think you really look far out in that hat, Johnny.
Well, I have to have something to attract the people to me to come to see me perform. After they see me perform, then I hope to hold them there just on performance.
Okay, take it easy.
Thank you, Alan, whoever you are. The numbers to call are 790-933 and 630-8611. You know, people think this is easy. But it's fun.
Yeah, it is fun. I like it.
It's a lot more fun when we have an outstanding personality like Johnny Rogers, and those guys in the control room, they know exactly what I mean. Back to the lines. Sports Wrap, you're on the air.
Hello, Johnny.
Right.
How are you?
You got it.
Okay, which position would you rather prefer to play, halfback or wide receiver?
Well, I have more experience, I suppose, as far as college ball is concerned, as a wide receiver. That was really my main job. When I was in high school, to get my scholarship to go to college, I was more of a running back. And I feel I'm more experienced, and I've been trained really properly and for a long time to be a wide receiver, but I just like to run the ball. So it would really depend on the situation in the game where I really thought I was needed most at the time, and I just would like to be at the time in the place where I feel I can get the ball at the best times during the game.
Okay, sir, we're going to limit this one to a customer now because the time is getting close to the magic hour and we want to get some more people on. Bye-bye. I don't want to be rude to anybody. I want to get them all on. There's 2.5 million people out there. Here we go. You're on with Johnny Rogers.
Oh,
Hello.
Johnny.
Right.
Yes, I'd just like to ask you one question.
Okay.
I don't know the player's name, but he plays for Hamilton. You know the touchdown you got when you outran that person? I forget his name. He's supposed to be the quickest in the league.
Is that Porter?
I think he's talking about Porter, but it was the other guy. I think Porter's the quickest was supposed to be one of the quickest in the league.
Well, my friend's a Hamilton fan, and he thinks Porter can outrun you. How come you took him that time?
How come I did what?
How come you outran him at that point in the game?
Well, when you get scared, you do strange things. Fear makes me even quicker.
Okay, sir. Thanks for your call. It's a good question and a pretty lively answer.
But
You're listening to Sports Wrap, and the numbers to talk to Johnny Rogers are 790-0933 and 630-8611. Here we go. You're on with Johnny Rogers.
Okay, the guys from Syracuse, New York.
Yeah, Syracuse.
Johnny, I'd like to tell you that Atlanta's leading 7-2 in the 8th.
Over.
Atlanta's leading 7-2 and over St. Louis in the 8th.
Okay, Syracuse, you want to talk to Johnny?
Johnny, I'd like to ask you, what do you think of the field, that the Canadians 10 yards more, and the width? Do you find it any different?
Yes, it is different. I think that it's really going to be more to my advantage. I think that in the past, the defense's best philosophy was not to give me very much room, to give me as least room as possible. With the field 10 yards longer and about 10 yards wider, I think they automatically have to give me room. In the National Football League, everybody's crammed up together. In the CFL, it's pretty much spread out.
Syracuse, before I let you go, can you sing a couple of bars of Alouette?
I beg your pardon?
You can't sing a couple of bars of Alouette for us? You could call Syracuse. Do you not know the Montreal Alouette marching song?
No.
You don't know it?
No.
Be there on the 25th. You'll hear a lot of it. Okay, here we go. Press that button. We got to press this one. You're on the air with Johnny Rogers.
Hello?
Yeah.
Johnny, how are you?
I'm just fine. How are you?
Well, not as good as you.
Right on there.
I would like to ask you one thing. What position you really like to play in a football match? What position you really like? A quarterback, a wide receiver? Which one are
Which position would I like the best?
Uh-huh.
I like wide receiver pretty much. I really used to love to run punt returns back too, but here they don't have any help, and it's 12 against 1, and that's a little bit too steep for me.
Johnny, I must interrupt the caller. Jamaica?
Hello?
Jamaica?
Hello?
Hello, Jamaica. Is that you?
Okay.
Is that you?
Exactly.
Once he says exactly, I know. Now, this man named him Jamaica because that's where he's from, and you're not aware of this, Johnny. But he is new to the games in America. Cricket was his game. He's learning hockey now, baseball, and obviously now he's a football fan. So we got to go slow with Jamaica. Go ahead. Hello, Jamaica.
Hello?
You asked Johnny Rogers what position he likes to play the best. I'm going to let you, because you're one of my favorite callers, one more question.
So, why do you like a wide receiver more? Is it more running, Johnny?
Well, you get a chance to, like, from there, you get more chance at the, get a better chance at the ball. If you have a good quarterback, all you have to do is get a step or two on your man, and you have a touchdown.
Oh.
And I like to score.
Oh. Okay.
I'm glad to hear from you, Jamaica. I'm happy to hear that you've surfaced again, and keep on keeping on, eh?
Okay, then, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. The numbers to call are 790-0933 and 630-8611, and we will keep moving. Sports Wrap, you're on with Johnny R.
Hello?
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to know, what do you like better, 3 downs or 4 downs?
Oh, I like 4 downs a heck of a lot more, but I think 4 downs gives you a chance to establish a good running and passing attack together. And with just 3 downs, I don't feel that you have to pick one or the other. What do you really want to do, to throw the ball or run the ball? Because you don't really have time to set up a balanced attack.
And I'd like to know, do you like the short passes or the bombs?
The bombs, man, the bombs. The bombs, the TDs.
Oh, okay.
Okay, kid, thanks for your call. We don't ordinarily let the kids on, but this is their chance because, they want to talk to sports heroes that they've heard about and never really come in contact with.
We have kids that are fans, too.
Oh, yeah,
right.
Yeah. But ordinarily, between 11 and 12, Johnny, you're not familiar with this show because you've just arrived really in Montreal. We try to keep the youngsters off and let the adults have their say. The numbers to call are 790-0933 and 630-8611, and the lights keep blinking, blinking, blinking. Before we go back to the lines, I want to tell you about Cadron Motors. I was there this afternoon. I really get around, And I had one of my little midget friends with me. It's really 38. No, it's 12. Anyhow, we were talking to Brian Mack. Brian Mack is the used car manager. He heard that Johnny Rogers would be our special guest tonight on Sports Wrap. And I know that Brian is tuned in tonight. Not to hear this commercial for Cadron Motors, because he knows all about it, but he wanted to hear Johnny Rogers. However, for those of you who don't know that much about Cadron Motors, they're located in Point Claire behind the Fairview Shopping Center. And right now, Brian Mack is the used car manager. You remember I've been telling you all of June and all of July that now is the time to buy Volkswagens from Cadron, the #1 dealer, on and off the island of Montreal. Well, so many of you apparently have that now they have a tremendous stock of used, reconditioned, great cars. And Brian Mack wants me to tell you that these used, reconditioned cars go through an exhaustive, well, you've heard all that before, but at Cadron, they really do, because I met one guy who does it, and his name is Regiton Barrett. And Regiton Barrett, he was covered with all sorts of grease and so on and grime, and he was out testing one of these reconditioned cars. You will receive 100% guarantee. It's unbelievable, isn't it? 100% guarantee on the front line used cars at Cadron Motors. Get out there tomorrow. They're closed Saturdays. Tomorrow, Friday, get out there and pick yourself up a used honey. Back to the lines with Sports Wrap and Johnny Rogers. You're on the air. You're going to be off the air if you don't hurry up.
I'd like to know,
Turn off that radio before you want to know anything.
turn off the radio.
Turn off the radio. That's a theme song we have here.
Turn off the radio.
About Saskatchewan West Riders and the Western Football Conference. What do you think of the victory that they put over the Western football?
Well, I really don't have too much praise to give to any other team besides the Alouettes. If everybody could beat everybody else and then we could beat everybody, period, then I'd like that the best.
And what do you think of George Reed's 107th touchdowns, his record?
Oh, well, for all records, I really have a lot of admiration. I feel that a person who sets a goal to reach a record and passes that record to set up another goal for himself, I have a lot of admiration and respect for him, and I hope he does set another record.
Okay, sir. Thank you for your call. We want to keep moving.
Okay.
Hey, Johnny, can I have a chance to ask you a very, very quick question?
Okay.
Nobody's come up with this yet. Is there much difference, have you found a great deal of difference between college ball and professional ball?
I really haven't found a heck of a lot of difference in it. It's just as complicated in college as it is in professional ball, and I think the biggest difference is just that in college that you don't get paid, in the professional you do get paid, because I think that at our school where I come from, we had 75,000 people each game,
Wow.
and we cleared over $250,000 a game, each game, after they had paid off everybody. So it was just as big in college as it is in professional ball.
What did you study at the University of Nebraska?
Integrated studies in English and sociology.
75,000 people turning out for a Nebraska game, and we've read about it in Time and the great rivalries that existed between Nebraska. Who were some of the schools that you played against?
Well, some of our tougher opponents were Oklahoma was always tough every year. We had the showdown at Oklahoma Corral or whatever a couple of years ago, and Colorado always put up a good fight. Kansas State, Kansas, Oklahoma State, and we were able to play LSU and Alabama and Notre Dame too. So we really had a pretty tough schedule.
What does this mean to you, to Johnny Rogers, personally, to have been named the Heisman Trophy winner?
Well, it means that 21 years of my life really hadn't went to waste, and it taught me that you can set your goals years and years ahead of yourself, and you just take them from day to day and pace yourself out that you can surpass most of your problems and get the things that you really want. And I was glad to be the Heisman Trophy winner because it meant that I was really the best at something.
The very best.
The very best, and that really meant a lot to me to be the very best out of so many great football players that we did have come through colleges in the States.
You know, from talking to you, and this is really the first time that I've met you, having read about you, and now sitting beside you, Johnny Rogers, you have confidence, but it's not bragging. The confidence exudes from you when you talk to the people. We could see it on the field several nights ago at the Autostad, and you certainly are a bright spot in football, not just in Montreal, as I've said before, but in all of Canada.
Well, I feel that it's not really bragging. I feel that I have a job to do, and I'm expected to do this, and I can't feel that I can't do this or have a lack of confidence. I feel that, if anything, I should be overconfident. And as I told one of the people who called in, if I don't believe in myself, how can I get the fans to believe in me?
Johnny Rogers, I wish we could carry on and keep doing our thing right here on Sports Wrap, but the magic hour has come, and Dan McGarity is standing by. I do want to thank you for coming through in the clutch, really, you know, with that taxi, whoever that man was, listening now, I'm sure. Want to thank him for bringing you so quickly here, and of course to Peter Michaels, who was standing out in the corner where Seafox is located, and very humbly, let me wish you a lot of good luck in the CFL, and I hope you knock 'em dead, Johnny Rogers.
Well, thank you, Tim. I really appreciate that, and I'll do my very best along with the other players, and I think along with the presence of Marv Levy and of other football players that we have on our team, we're really trying to win this conference. I think that we have more than a 50% or 60% chance of winning it.
There you have it. Until tomorrow night, 11 o'clock, I'm Ted Tevan for Johnny Rogers. Thanks for being with us.
And now, ladies and gentlemen...